Today's headlines. Duterte to LGUs, boost COVID jab drive by giving free food. PNP to candidates, follow health protocols, coordinate in-person campaigns. Go is Tagbilaran Mayor's president. POC to investigate Obiena-Patafa mess. Israel vaccinates 5 to 11-year-old children. China warns Taiwan independence backers. Bubble gang is 25. Paolo Contis, a strong asset. Good morning, I'm Roy Pelovelio and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Today is November 24, 2021. And here are the latest news of this Wednesday morning. President Rodrigo Duterte has instructed governors and mayors to provide free meals to their residents who would get vaccinated against COVID-19. Duterte issued a call on Tuesday night as he promised to reimburse the funds spent for food of those who would take anti-coronavirus shots in the upcoming national vaccination drive. The president claimed local officials should not have trouble urging their constituents to head to inoculation sites for the jab drive, saying they were used to luring crowds during election season. The government is set to hold a three-day Bayanihan Bakunahan vaccination drive from 29 November to 1 December, in which 15 million Filipinos are expected to receive COVID-19 jabs. Fast food giants Jollibee Foods Corporation and McDonald's Philippines earlier offered their restaurants as vaccination sites for the program to aid the government's inoculation efforts. In his speech, Duterte described unvaccinated individuals as a public health threat as he expressed support to establishments like restaurants and resorts which have been requiring customers proof of COVID-19 vaccination. He also reiterated his support for private companies who turned in unvaccinated jab applicants, but said those who are currently employed should not be fired if they have not yet to receive the coveted shots. As of Monday, only 33.8 million individuals of the country's 110 million population have been fully inoculated, while 42.6 million people are still waiting for their second doses. About 43,000 Filipinos have received booster jabs. The figures are nearing the government's target of vaccinating 50 million individuals this year to achieve population protection against COVID-19. The National Police on Tuesday reminded candidates for next year's elections to follow health protocols against COVID-19 and asked them to coordinate in-person campaign activities. PNP Chief General Leonardo Carlos said they are requesting every candidate that if they will organize an in-person campaign, they must properly coordinate with the authorities and make sure that there is a crowd control plan in place. Carlos made the appeal in light of the Commission on Elections' recent announcement that violating health protocols is now considered an election offense. Under Section 34 of the COMELEC Resolution 10730, candidates must submit an affidavit of compliance with health protocols for every physical campaigning that they will conduct. It states that such affidavits should be submitted by campaign organizers to the local COMELEC office within 24 hours after the activity. Failure to do so is punishable under Republic Act 11332 or the Mandatory Reporting of Notifiable Diseases and Health Events of Public Health Concern Act. According to Carlos, the PNP is now discussing with the COMELEC its role in implementing the resolution. Tagbilaran City Mayor John Gisnel Yap II is taking the cudgels for Senator Christopher Bongo, loading the presidential candidate's extensive aid of calamity victims in Bohol, unhampered by pandemic hurdles. In a radio interview on 19 November, Yap further stated that he will also back Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio's vice presidential bid and, by extension, the Go Duterte Carpio tandem in 2022. The mayor clarified that the decision to support Go was made independently by his group at the city level. While he has yet to get in touch with the provincial leaders of the Pundok Padayon Bolanon coalition, he maintained that his decision is set, regardless of who the coalition endorses. A year since the onset of the pandemic, Go's outreach teams have conducted relief operations for over 1,000 of the city's out-of-school youth, persons with disabilities, market vendors, and displaced workers. The efforts have since expanded to supporting thousands more in various communities impacted by COVID-19 and recent disasters throughout Bohol, Albuquerque, Alicia, Anda, Antiquera, Baclayon, Balilihan, Batuan, Bienunido, Bilar, Buena Vista, Calape, Candihay, Katigbian, Clarin, Corelia, Dagohoy, Danao, Dawis, Dimiao, Duero, Getafe, Garcia, Hernandez, Gindulman, Inabanga, Lila, Loay, Lubok, Luon, Mabini, Maribohok, Panglao, Pilar, President Carlos P. Garcia, Sagbayan, San Isidro, San Miguel, Sevilla, Sierra, Bolyones, Sicatuna, Talibon, Trinidad, Ubay, and Valencia. Meanwhile, as part of his ongoing initiative to expand access to affordable healthcare services, Go also pushed for the establishment of malasakit centers at the Governor Celestino Gallares Memorial Hospital in Tagbilaran City and at the Don Emilio del Valle Memorial Hospital in Ubay in 2018 and 2020, respectively. He likewise supported various infrastructure initiatives to enhance the local economy and improve the quality of life of Boholanons. These include the concreting of farm-to-market and other roads in Buena Vista and Sevilla, construction of the municipal slaughterhouse in Inabanga, improvement of public markets in Bilar and Clarin, acquisition and installation of solar-powered streetlights in Getafe, and acquisition of a multipurpose vehicle and dump truck for the local government of Clarin. Go also supported the construction of multi-purpose buildings in Buena Vista, Dawis, Loay, Alicia, Anda, Balilihan, Batuan, Danao, Dimiao, Duero, Garcia Hernandez, Gindulman, Loon, Valencia, and Tagbilaran City, and the improvement of evacuation centers in Panglao, Anda, Balilihan, Carmen, Corelia, Garcia Hernandez, and Valencia. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Botomoto Halala 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
Bong, yung naumpisahan ko, tapusin mo. Mga bagong highway, tulay, tren, dapat ma-enjoy na kaagad ng mga tao yan. Kailangan lahat bakunado at laging may ayuda pag kailangan. Huwag dapat makabalik ang mga drug lords para ligtas ang pamilya. Yung ginawa mong malasakit centers, maganda yan. Padamihin mo pa. Magkasama tayo. Tayo ang nagsimula, tuloy-tuloy lang, Bong.
Katribo, hanap mo ba ay food to satisfy your cravings, essential products o ano paman? Sagot ka namin dito sa tindahan ni Tarsi. Halina't tuklasin, kilalanin at alamin ang kwento sa likod ng iba't ibang produkto at negosyo mula sa ating Pinoy local entrepreneurs na tiyak papatok sa'yo. Samahan natin si Tarsi simula November 16 na mapapanood sa programang Gising na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune at Tribune Now on YouTube.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. The Philippine Olympic Committee, or POC, vowed to conduct an investigation on the allegations that pole vaulter E.J. Obiena mishandled the fund meant for his coach, Vitaly Petrov. POC President Abraham Bambol Tolentino expressed regret over the trouble hounding the 25-year-old Tokyo Olympic veteran. The Philippine Olympic Committee vowed to conduct on the allegations that pole vaulter Obiena mishandled the fund meant for his coach, Vitaly Petrov. Save for the 4,000 euro that Obiena handled Petrov last year, nothing was given to the noted Ukrainian mentor, prompting him to reach out to Babka and Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association President Philip Elawico last September. Tolentino said in a statement, added that Obiena's career is now in serious peril. They are in deepest regret to realize that one of their Olympians, multi-medalist and great inspiration, Ernest John Obiena of Athletics, to be involved in this squabble with his home federation. Tolentino added the mess could have a massive impact on the country's campaign in the 31st Southeast Asian Games and the 19th Asian Games, especially since he is competing as the Asian record holder and number 5 vaulter in the world. Tolentino stressed, needless to say, Filipinos will be deprived of 2 gold medals in the Vietnam Southeast Asian Games in 2022 and in Cambodia 2023, not to mention another one in the Asian Games also next year. And most importantly, a representation in the Paris Olympics come 2024 due to the fiasco in the leadership of his organization. We could have easily propagated this achievement to the youth by proper guidance and genuine attitude, he said. Tolentino also said the Philippine Sports Commission could have done something about Obiena's alleged mishandling of funds. Israel began rolling out COVID-19 vaccines for children aged 5 to 11 on Monday, becoming one of a handful of countries to inoculate children so young as it seeks to ward off another pandemic wave. Over the summer, the Jewish state experienced an upsurge in coronavirus infections, fueled by the Delta variant, and launched one of the earliest campaigns for booster shots. As infection starts to creep up again, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has said the country is experiencing a children's wave, with about half of the recently confirmed cases among children below the age of 11, he wrote on Facebook. Authorities had already begun immunizing those aged 12 to 17, but decided to lower the age threshold in the wake of trials by Pfizer and recommendations from a panel of Israeli scientists. While the campaign for younger minors was set to officially start Tuesday, doses were already being administered by Monday night, an AFP team in Tel Aviv found. Right now, during the epidemic, the best tool to protect our children is vaccination. Heli Naive said from outside the clinic giving the Pfizer-BioNTech jabs to children. She said, "It's not an easy decision at all, but the availability of data from the United States, which started immunizing 5 to 11-year-olds earlier this month, had convinced her." The Prime Minister is scheduled to have his own youngest son vaccinated on Tuesday morning, his office announced. Israel was one of the first countries to launch vaccines against the coronavirus last year, thanks to a deal with Pfizer that gave it access to millions of doses in exchange for data on the vaccine's efficacy. More than 5.7 million of the country's 9 million people are now fully vaccinated. As infections start to creep up again, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has said the country is experiencing a children's wave. Authorities had already begun immunizing those ages 12 to 17 but decided to lower the age threshold in the wake of trials by Pfizer and recommendations from a panel of Israeli scientists. Right now, during the epidemic, the best tool to protect our children is vaccination, Helene said from outside the clinic, giving the Pfizer-BioNTech jabs to children in Israel. Over the summer, the Jewish state has experienced an upsurge in coronavirus infections fueled by the Delta variant. Authorities had already begun immunizing those aged 12 to 17, but they decided to lower the age threshold. The Prime Minister is scheduled to have his own youngest son vaccinated on Tuesday morning, according to his office. Israel was one of the first countries to launch vaccines against the coronavirus last year, thanks to a deal with Pfizer that gave it access to millions of doses in exchange for data on the vaccine's efficacy. China has warned Taiwanese firms against supporting the island's independence, hours after state media said a Taiwanese conglomerate was fined by mainland regulators as tensions flare between Taipei and Beijing. Analysts said the move could ratchet economic pressure on Taiwanese companies operating in China and the local mainland firms that invest in them. Beijing claims self-ruled democratic Taiwan as part of its territory to be retaken one day by force if necessary. It has intensified military, diplomatic, and economic pressure on Taiwan since President Tsai Ing-wen's 2016 election, as he sees the island as already independent and not part of its One China. Beijing would never allow people who support Taiwan's independence and damage cross-strait relations to make money on the mainland, the Taiwan Affairs Office said in a statement issued late Monday. It has intensified military, diplomatic, and economic pressure on Taiwan since President Tsai Ing-wen's 2016 election. While relations between China and Taiwan are at their lowest in decades, Beijing has largely avoided punitive measures against Taiwanese companies that might impact Chinese investors. Margaret McQuaig Johnston, an expert at the China Institute at the University of Alberta, said the Tel's warning suggests might have changed. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama. Magandang araw mga katribu! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelevelo, Comfy Manalo, Atty. Lia Badillo Crisostomo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas ng mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan natin ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments ng aming programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris Masaya, pagsama-sama.
You're still watching Tribune News on Q. With the theme Kababol Mula Noon, Gang Ngayon. The show's special episode is about being together. The anniversary episode is a toast to the show's audience and supporters this past 25 years. Were you texting as a friend? Michael V joked during the media meet for the Bubblegum's 25th anniversary after a reporter messaged whether Paolo Contis won't mind having his recent controversy spoofed on the top-rating comedy show. Paolo is a strong asset in the show. We're glad he's still on board, said Michael V, fondly called Bitoy in showbiz circles and Bubblegum's creative director. Bitoy was referring to Contis' alibi that he was with rumored girlfriend actor Yen Santos in Baguio City only as a friend. Contis went viral again on social media when he posted a photo and tagged Santos. This was followed by a post on Instagram stories with the caption, "Dinner time." Later, Santos posted a photo of a dinner for two to celebrate her birthday. Netizens believe the other seat is for Contis. Santos is perceived to be the reason Contis left his domestic partner, actor LG Reyes, with whom he has a daughter. Simple anniversary episode this year's anniversary, Bubblegum Senior Program Manager Cecil D. Guzman said, pointing out that previously we made an Avengers spoof. Whether previous cast members are part of the episode, Bitoy said there was an attempt. We tried and did our best. But along the way, we encountered other conflicts that made it hard for us to execute what we envisioned for the special episode. At this point, we just had to make do with what we have and make the most of the situation. He added, "This is the best we can come up with, celebrating not just the anniversary, but people who brought us here." Bubblegum's 25th anniversary special airs on 26 November at 10:20 p.m. on GMA. And that wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the following: Mary Kay, the SM Store, the Department of Tourism, Araneta Center, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Roy Pilovelio on Tribune News on Q, reminding you that we only have 31 days until Christmas. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.